Hello. Today we're going to be talking about a couple topics. Namely of which, one of the ones that I want to talk about today is dating apps, online dating. This guy's profile went viral, right? This guy Hayden, 26, he went viral for apparently swiping 2 million times. Right? He swiped 2 million times on like Tinder, I suppose. Yeah, Tinder. And so he swiped 2 million times and got zero matches. All right. So I want to talk about stuff like this, right? Because I think this is an issue. Because like, you know what? I feel like a lot of guys, a lot of people in general, right? But a lot of guys in particular, they're having trouble when it comes just to getting dates, right? When it comes to just like even learning how to form those relationships, even like getting those opportunities. It feels like, all right. And so I do want to talk about that kind of stuff as your Gen Z elder, right? Like, because I've gone through that kind of stuff. Like me personally, full disclosure. Like, this is full disclosure, all right? I didn't lose my V card until I was like 21, 22, something like that, right? Which is like, someone would be like, oh, that's a late bloomer. But now it's like, I personally don't have those same issues, right? So it's like, cause I'm trying to keep it a little bit PG-13, right? I don't want to get too explicit, but I do want to say that like these are learnable skills, and that's the main thing that you want to take away from it. Um, and so the reason, like, cause like it's not about looks. People can be like, oh, this guy doesn't look like an Adonis. He doesn't look like the best looking guy in the world. It's not about looks. Cause like, here's one thing I want all people to keep in mind when it comes to the dating world is that there's somebody out there for everybody. There's somebody's type for everybody, right? Like there are, you will oftentimes see less, conventionally attractive people with extremely conventionally attractive people, right? Where they're happy. Like one of the ones I like to point to is Sniper Wolf and her ex. I want to say his like name is like a Meatball or like Snarf or something like that. And it's like he's not a conventionally attractive guy, and she's a very conventionally attractive woman, and yet they melded, right? Now he did end up cheating on her, which kind of shows that like, all right, like he was the one. He was like, I'm looking for something else. She was still happy. So like, even though she's like, for all intents and purposes, more attractive, right? He was still the one being like, yeah, nah, right? So it's like it's not about looks. It's not about looks. It's about attraction, right? So who is he attracting with this with these phishing profiles, right? Because like this is a big thing across. You may not know this in like other parts of the world, but in North America, it's a very big common thing on like dating apps for men to post their fishing, the fish that they've caught, the game that they've caught, right? Now, I've learned that part of this is because like this is one of the few times where a lot of men will find themselves smiling, right? So when they caught a fish, right? It's a big achievement, and they're like, "Dang, this is," because I've talked to guys, I've talked to a good amount of guys who are like, "Yeah, no, don't take selfies. That's what women do, right?" Or like, don't take pictures of yourself. Like, oh, you want to pose, right? Like that's feminine, that kind of stuff, right? For me personally, it's oftentimes like I just get so caught up in the moment where I'm like, oh man, I'm vibing. I don't want to like disconnect and pull up my camera and start like recording. It feels unnatural to me personally. I'm learning to overcome that because I want to just engage and try to remember more about the world, right? Because it can pass by very quickly, right? But a lot of guys in general, they don't really take pictures, don't really smile too often, right? Even me personally, when I take a picture, I don't always smile all the time, even though someone say I have a lovely smile, right? And I should be smiling more often, right? Anyways. So, who is he attracting? Because you got to think about this from like a marketing and sales perspective, fellas, right? You got to think about it logically, right? If you're struggling, because you got to understand this isn't about just like, yeah, you want to showcase that, like, all right, this is who I am. This is what makes me happy, right? But the goal of a relationship is compromise, right? That is part of the goal. You are gonna, because think about it like this, right? Think about this is true for all humanity. every interaction that we have, it's like it builds us, right? Every small or big interaction that you have, it shapes us, right? We're a mosaic of all the interactions that we had all throughout our lifetime, right? And our relationships, those are going to be the bigger pieces that represent that mosaic, right? And so a mosaic is give and take. So like, you give a piece, they give a piece. That's like, so there's compromise. It has to be. If they're going to be in your space, they're sacrificing other options, right? And vice versa. So there has to be compromise. The ideal goal for a relationship is compromise. And here's the thing. A lot of men nowadays, they don't have the mindset of compromise at the forefront of a relationship, right? Because why would why would like the average woman out there care, right? Why would the average woman be like looking at this like, oh yeah, love that? And no, like a lot of, especially like nowadays, if you're listening to what women say, right? Because I feel like a lot of the things where I realize that there's just like a really big rift in the general understanding of men on how to approach women is when I realize that like the things that it takes to actually make a woman happy aren't that crazy. And it's just like it's men will look at like a generalized sense of like what's portrayed online, right? They'll look at the vocal minority and be like, this is how all women are, right? They'll look at certain extremes, even though like the only reason extremes on social media are inherently promoted, right? The more extreme you are, the more promoted you get, because the more extreme you are, the more attention you get, right? But that extremism, that extreme vocal minority, right? They're literally the exception. That's why they're being broadcasted to you. Right? So like when you go into the actual world, the people who aren't doing that, because like the ones who are doing that, they're off like in a totally different environment that you're not likely to bump into. Right? So the average person, especially from a guy's perspective, the average woman, she's gonna be like working a job, doing stuff, right? Like all the guys are like, oh man, all these women are gold diggers. They deserve less. Yada yada. Come on, man. You gotta understand. Like this isn't a real. Anyways, I don't want to make it too like man versus woman. The point is, who is this attracting? Like, yeah, you do want to showcase like, yeah, this is what makes me happy, right? But like, let's simplify it. What's gonna be effective when it comes to like a woman's dating profile? Like, let's keep it like caveman brained, like doo-doo brain, right? It's gonna be a girl in a bikini, right? It's gonna be her showing off her goodies, right? So like, why is that effective in that scenario when it comes to her getting attention from other guys? Because that's what the guys are looking for. Right? So like, if you want to attract more women, yeah, you do want to showcase like, yes, it's good to be happy that you go fishing. Women do actually like seeing the guys that they care about being happy, but you're gonna want to find the middle ground where it's like it makes you happy, but also it's something that would also be feasibly attractive to the type of woman that you're looking for, right? Let's say, okay, let's focus more so on like looking for. Cause I don't want to be like a pickup artist, but I do see like there is like a problem when it comes to like male female coexistence that I feel is it's harmful in a variety of ways, and I would prefer if we can like learn men learning game and women learning game too. But I'm not going to teach women how to spit game. The game that I'm looking for is harmony. But anyways, because I do think it's a good thing when people can like find love, find partners, find healthy relationships, that kind of stuff, right? And like I feel like I'm 28 now, right? I have had a good amount of experience in the dating world. I hear from women themselves where they're like, you give a good perspective on things, Jacob. And so I'm like, all right, it's been validated by enough people whose opinions I respect that I'm like, all right, so enough of the things that I say aren't too out of pocket and actually are decently the nail on the head. right? Because like what we can determine for sure is that what this guy tried did not work, right? It did not work. He failed miserably. So what can we do? What can we do to change things? Because like keep in mind, it's not like oh, it's because like it's a looks thing. Because like for all I know, this dude could be like he could be 6 foot, right? I'm 5'9". I could be 5'8", 5'10" on a good day. But it's like so it's like height. I've seen short guys do very well with women, right? I've seen short guys do well with like taller women, right? There's somebody out there for everybody, so it's not a looks thing. It's about meeting the right market, right? You got to market yourself properly. It is a marketing issue, because Tinder, like many other things, social media, it is marketing, right? So you have to understand your audience, your target audience, and the language that you need to bridge the gap between what you want to communicate and what the audience is aware of, right? Because this guy could be a great guy, right? We don't know how cool he is. This is, and keep in mind, this person here, Signal, that isn't Hayden. As he says that he's not Hayden, but even though, right? He's a young guy, right? So Hayden, he's a young guy, he likes fishing. Listen, you gotta cater to yourself. So it's like, all right, you like fishing. What 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 is the middle ground between like the girl that you're looking for, type of girl you're looking for? Like, what does she do, right? Like, for one, you got to go to those places, right? That's how you're gonna find them. Tinder, I haven't even gotten to the point yet that like, if you want to meet somebody, if you're not a girl, because like realistically, women will find quite a bit more success with dating apps. Like it's just the way that the world works. All right. But if you do want to actually find people, you have to go to where the people are. I saw somebody. She posted. This is a woman who was talking earlier, right? She was talking earlier. She was like, "Oh, I've been going out to the places. I've been going to coffee shops and going like art, like sipping paints and stuff like that, and like nobody's approached me. Right? Like I've been going out consistently. I go to the coffee shop all the time, like daily, all the time, and nothing's working. And then somebody will be like, "Well, I'll have you like said anything to them?" And they're like, "Have you made a first move? Have you signaled that you're gonna be available in any way?" She's like, "No, ew. That's like, I'm so shy." And see, like, yeah, no, it is an issue. Like that's your issue there. You're not doing the thing that will actually move you forward, right? Because like you're doing half of it. You're going out there and you're putting yourself where like somebody else who's worked on themselves, right, in the way that you're looking for. You're hoping for that kind of stuff. Why are you gonna do that? That's not you're not gonna take control of your life. You can do that. You can live your life like that, but you can see that it's leading to misery, right? Where there's like this girl who was like she's like, oh I'm not. Why would I approach another guy or like why would I say anything? Like okay, if you go to a coffee shop, right? Or a bar, right? Because like one of the cool things about bars, anything that has like an actual like bar, right, is that it leaves like an opening for other people to like come in, enter your space, where you can turn to your left, turn to your right, and say something. And it's hard at first, because like the hard part, for most people, the hard part isn't even like saying, it's being in the bar in the first place. It's being in the environment where it's being at the conference, it's being at the networking events, it's being at the heavily populated area where people will actually stop and aren't in motion. Because like here's a little pro tip about like talking to people. When people are in motion, like they're going somewhere, they're less likely to stop. So like they're gonna be like, oh sorry I'm busy, stuff like that, right? So you want to go to some place where people congregate, right? And congregate with the intention that they're going to speak to somebody. So like a club, a speaking event. You gotta look for it. You gotta put yourself out there, and then you have to actually engage. It's tough, right? But oh well, that's the solution. So You know what? I think we're just gonna talk about our boy Hayden out here, right? You know, actually, real quick, I just want to give props to the New York Knicks, right? Because I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing whenever the Knicks are in the playoffs, right? I think it's a good thing whenever the Knicks are in the playoffs. Ben Stiller's happy because I think this is the first time in 20 years that the Knicks have made it to the playoffs. Or it's the Eastern Conference Finals, right? And I think they have a solid chance of winning it in the conference finals as well, right? And so yeah, it's pretty cool. And like I'm really hoping that the Raptors can be in the playoffs next year. I'm pretty confident, you know, because like Celtics are out, right? So anyways, hit like, hit subscribe, follow. Like yeah, it's a new show, right? It's a new show. Another new show, Jacob. Oh my goodness, this guy, he does so many things. I do all the things, man. You can't stop me. You can't stop me.